Hey guys, here's part 2 of the retouching for this week. This has already been Gaussian blurred and smoothed out. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the contouring technique, which is what we learned in the second half of class. And as a couple of you, mostly the girls, probably already know, contouring is a makeup and digital editing technique that is designed to enhance the natural contours of the face. So anywhere that would be naturally shaded is enhanced by darkening, and anything that's naturally highlighted, like the white parts here, those will be brought out using either makeup or, in our case, a highlighted color. So here's a good reference point for what you can do to contour your images. Here they've used a darker color to shade and draw out the jawline. Obviously the cheekbones are really important around the bridge of the nose and up underneath the brow bone here, and then also around the hairline. Especially for people with larger foreheads, it can really help to enhance the look of the face. So for the highlighting, you're going to highlight the kind of like the T-zone up here, so down the bridge of the nose, and right in the middle of the eyebrows up under the forehead, and then a triangular shape underneath the eyes as well. A little bit maybe on the chin, and I don't usually do these, but you guys can do that if you want. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to our picture and show you guys how that is done in GIMP. So to start out, what I do is I find the brightest spot in my picture on the skin tone. Obviously, if this were bright white, I wouldn't choose that. So it looks like my brightest spot is either here or here. So I'm just going to go with this one. And I'm going to grab the magnifying glass tool or press Z to zoom in. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the color picker tool, which is this eyedropper here. So double click that. Make sure that set foreground color is selected. It should do that by default, but if not, just go ahead and click it. And then you're going to come in, and I can click either here or here for a little darker color. So I'm going to go with just anywhere in that area. And you'll see here on your color swatch, anywhere that you click with the color picker tool will throw that color up in there. So go ahead and just select your highlight color, and then go ahead and zoom back out to probably 25% so that you can see what you're doing. Okay, so we've now selected our highlight color. So again, referencing back to our contouring diagram, we're going to do the triangular shape underneath the eyes, we're going to do the bridge of the nose, forehead, and chin. So go ahead and grab your paintbrush tool. Make sure that you have a soft edge brush, and what I like to do is just go ahead and do it at 100% opacity, so that way I can really see what I'm doing. So since I've already got a big brush here, I'm going to go ahead and just highlight my forehead area, because I'm not going to want this big of a brush for anything else. Maybe just a little on the chin. That's too much, because you can see how it overlapped the shadow area here. So I'm going to actually bring that down. Now I'll do the chin. That's better. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in and do those triangles underneath the eyes, and I'm probably going to need to adjust the brush even smaller. So you're going to start, even smaller than that. You're going to start right in the very corner of the eye by clicking, hold shift, and you'll get that straight line. And then I just generally come right from the corner of the eye down to the crux of the nose here. Click at the outside of the eye, go up one more little jog to the eye line, and then just follow that around and fill it in. Okay, so it's going to look really, really bad, just like this, but you're doing it right, don't worry. So go ahead and do the other eye. Again, corner of the eye, right to the crux of the nose, straight down, over, up, and fill it in. So here I've gone a little bit too far into the eyeliner line, but I'm not going to fix it for now since this is just a tutorial. Then you're going to come to the very tip of the nose, and the very tip of the nose will be a wider highlight, something like that. But you don't want to do a wide brush up the bridge of the nose, because it can give someone the appearance of having a much bigger nose than they actually have. So for example, if I did that, she looks like she's got a much bigger nose than she actually has. So go ahead and try to mimic the width of the natural highlight of the nose. So it's kind of subtle in this picture, but you can kind of see the highlight right through there. So I'm going to scale this brush down, and that looks about good for the highlight. So I'm going to click here and follow that natural highlight up. Okay, so now we've got some pretty bright highlight here and then shadow here. So just kind of smooth that out by going to a bigger brush and kind of expand that. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to be leaving it like this, so it's okay if it doesn't look, the absolute best. So you can generally get away with just highlighting, because by contrast, any shaded areas appear darker because you've upped the highlight zone. But if you wanted to, you can either use the dodge and burn tool and make sure you have some burn selected and then midtones. And you can take your brush in at a low opacity. I would do probably 8 or below because you want to do this really subtly. And you can come in and start to just burn the hairline, burn in the cheekbone area like this, and maybe a little bit next to the cheek as well. So go ahead and do that if you want. You can use the Dodge and Burn tool, as I said, or if you want to be really fancy, maybe for like a fashion shot where you're looking for more drama, go ahead and just do the same color picker technique that we used for the highlighting color for your shadow color. So maybe choose right here. Again, the color comes up here. Use that paintbrush, and then following the diagram, go ahead and shade in those areas. So I'll just do it. Again, the shading is a little bit more intense than the highlighting, so you want to use a light hand with that. You don't want to do that at 100%. So you're just going to do a little subtle adjustment here. Okay, great. So we now have our contoured image, but obviously this is not looking too good. So what we're going to do to downplay what we've done to her face is we're going to come up here to edit and then paste, and go ahead and paste the original image over. So it should look something like that. So again, this is a very subtle technique. You do not want to go crazy with it or it's going to look really bad, especially when printed. So you can see it even at 74, it's pretty obvious that there are lines where I did the highlighting. So you want to be really, really cautious, and I probably wouldn't go below 80, 87 or 88 for this. So you just want a subtle change depending on, again, the amount of redness or whatever. Actually, I'm kind of liking the 84. So I think I'm going to stick with this. So once you have it where you like it, just go ahead and you flatten the image. So I want to show you guys the before and after. So here's what it looked like before. I'm sorry, here's what it looks like after. And here's what it looked like before. Do you see the difference? So let me go back to after and before. So you can see it's very subtle, but in the after, she just looks a little bit more awake and bright-eyed. So it can really help, especially older people who might have some discoloration underneath their eyes. It can be really effective for that. My favorite thing to use this technique for is actually has nothing to do with the aging of the face. It has to do with redness through this zone. So you've probably noticed if you've used a harsh lighting source that, especially direct flash or something like that, that redness tends to appear through the nose region, and it tends to make people look kind of hot and sweaty. So it doesn't really look very good. So this is a good way by painting in that highlighting color to kind of mitigate that redness. So that's a good kind of a cleanup technique for skin tones, just generally speaking. So let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email, and I hope you guys will have fun doing this. Also, don't forget to study for the midterm, which will be this week. Alright, have a good one, guys.